Rumi wasn't talking about some distant person, some distant lover, or even some present external person. The Sufis' search for the great love was always their own love. Kia ora, beautiful friends.
Hey guys, how's it going today?
Last week we talked about shame, which was a pretty heavy subject. So this week we thought we'd talk about all the little ways that usually get overlooked by people in their day to day lives, that we actually build our self worth through action, through things that we have control over and things that we do naturally and through lived experience.
Yep, that's definitely true. Ways I've used tools to improve my self worth was walking in the morning, walking for like an hour, and that helped improve my self worth. And then I would have plenty of time to think and plan about what I want to do with my life and my day. And then I would spend time reading a good book. And one book that helped me immensely was "You Can Heal Your Life" by Louise Hay. So I would read snippets of that book, and it would always be looking at myself and telling myself that I love myself,
Mm.
and simple steps like that would help me improve my self worth because being shamed and a lot of the bad stuff I went through, my self worth was very, very, very low. And I thought I was just terrible. So I had to improve my self worth. And I had to change the inner dialogue that I used to tell myself because a lot of times I used to tell myself I was a loser, I was old and I'm fat and I'm ugly and no one will ever love me. So I
Mm.
had to change all that and I had to be my own best friend, and I had to talk to myself like how a best friend would talk to me. And I used to always tell myself that I was a good guy and that I had plenty of time and that I would always have an answer to all my problems. And that was one way. Another way that helped me improve my self worth.
We always do have the answer to all of our problems, even studying mentorship, like I've done. One of the first lessons that we were taught was that a good mentor asks the right questions to help the person in front of them find their own solutions and answers. A good mentor never, ever, ever tells somebody what to do because autonomy is where it's at, and you have the power to find your own answers. And I have the power to find my own answers because even though I have been on my own journey for many, many years through shame and through building self worth and self love. And self worth, self esteem, and self love can often sit at different scales as well within the same person. Just wanted to say that too is normal. But I have been right at the bottom, and I still I still have to use the tools in my kete to pull myself up some days. It spirals, and you learn new things through each thing that you deal with. I remember being so low that I was just crying every day for the universe to change who I was and to make me somebody else. And I thought that I was everything that was wrong with my world, and I wrote in red lipstick through my tears on the bathroom mirror, thanks to also Louise Hay's influence. You are loved, because I didn't even love myself at that time, and I didn't think anybody else loved me. Not even my kids. I didn't even think I was a good mother. So I said, "You are loved." And I was trying to hang on to that by reading it every time I went into the bathroom. And I cried myself to sleep that night and got up very early before the dawn. The kids hadn't even been up, and the universe had got rid of the D at the end of that word, and it at the end of that word, and it changed the whole message. It no longer said you are loved, it said you are love.
Mm.
You are love, and so are you, and so am I, and so might it be.
Mm. Yep, definitely. You know, one thing that helped me improve my self-worth a while ago now was uh, going back and getting help. And I went to counseling, and I found a really good counselor, and I could be honest and talk openly about everything I went through. And this counselor would always be just a good listening person. And what else helped me was finding a good group I could go to, like a recovery group or a men's group. You know,
Mm.
I found that sort of stuff. I would end up meeting like minded people that I could build a friendship with to help improve my self worth. It's a difficult journey, but it can be done, because both me and Karen have come from the bottom.
Mm.
We've come from a place of hating who we are, but we had to change that. So we had to turn it around and become friends of ourselves and to eventually love who we are. And when you do that, you can actually heal no matter what you're being through, because we've both done that. And there is a recovery, there is a great life after shame and trauma and stuff. If you're willing to work on yourself, the universe will help you and you will get better. And life is a blessing after
Mm.
all the hard work.
It's so true.
Mm.
So true. And one of my favorite poets is Rumi. And I don't know if you're aware, but Rumi was a Sufi mystic in the 12th century. And most people attribute him as being the greatest love poet of all time. And yet, Rumi wasn't talking about some distant person, some distant lover, or even some present external person. The Sufis' search for the great love was always their own love, their own light, their own inner wisdom, their own inner God, goddess, power, the light of their own soul. And that is what all that great love poetry that he wrote is speaking to and searching for and celebrating. And one of my favorite pieces of his poetry says, I spent my whole life searching for you, never realizing that lovers do not meet somewhere along the way. They're inside each other all along.
Beautiful. Before we finish this video, we've got this big, beautiful taxi cat sitting on my lap.
Super fat.
Her name's Starlight, and about 4 years ago, me and Karen stopped at a local park to have lunch, and we found this cat was sitting in the bushes, and she was homeless. And I shared my lunch with her, and then over the next week, I went down and fed her every day, and then we brought her back here, and she's been living here ever since.
She
And
lives
she
a good life.
used to be a feral cat, and living in the park, and now she lives here, and her self-worth has improved over time because the love we've given her,
Mm.
so just a special moment, the cat jumping up here to be a part of this video. So have a beautiful day today, guys. Lots of love from us.
Aroha noi, beautiful souls.